Of the many things I want for you listening to this podcast, one of the biggest ones is a transformation, is new realization about the life you're living, new opportunities that you can see and experience and create. And today we're going to be talking about three of the biggest things that I think will lead to that. There's 52 days left in 2022, and I'm going to make the most of every single one of them. I'm going to help you do the same. So we're going to be talking about building up discipline, building up focus, and building up momentum. Stay tuned. So building up discipline is a pretty special thing. I'm trying to get an accountability thingy set up for listeners of the podcast so we can all lift up and build up each other. I already have a Discord set up. So if you want to jump in that early, you can. It's free. And you can talk with other listeners in there. We can all help each other out together. Another thing that I'm doing is I'm using JLD's Mastery Journal. And it's so cool actually saying his name because he's a really cool guy and big name in podcasting. But, his Mastery Journal that I got a little while ago, it has some things like, I'm grateful for this on this day. And then it breaks it down into your morning routine and things that you get done throughout the day. And so for the last couple of days, I've set some bigger goal that I shoot for and then I reach, and it helps me have momentum for the upcoming day. To have any kind of joy or just feeling of getting somewhere, it really helps to have a map. It really helps to have a plan. And that's something I'm trying to build out more for you guys, and I still could use some help with that, of course, with building that out. But I think that's just going to come with time. But really what I'm working on is just to get my discipline a lot more consistent and to not just be such a, be so vulnerable to my emotions. Like, emotions are cool because they do make us vulnerable and they do make us human, but they're not going to make us superhuman. I feel like for me, when I think of things that have helped me grow the most, it was times that I acted and I worked and I got things done regardless of what I was feeling about it. There's a little moment from the Chosen season 3 trailer, which is pretty cool. And the actor for Jesus in the film thing, he says, you don't have to have feelings to do great things. I think that's really important. Our discipline, our vision, that will lead to the life that we ultimately create. I've fallen into the trap at some points this year that I need to feel something in order to do something great. And that is very not true. There's been times when I've felt amazing and I did not do really anything. So that's something else that we can work on. I feel like 2022, we'll go into this more in the annual review episode, but I think I've learned a lot that's helped me just in the long term as terms of like profitability for my life, things that I learn and mistakes I don't have to make again and lose money or time, so to speak. And then also just humble pie of like things I learned about myself and things I learned about people and other things. So yeah, but this book, using that JLD Mastery Journal, I'll probably buy another one because it's solid. I'm going to use that, and I will finish it when I'm consistent for the next 52 days. I'll finish it in like 44 days. And I do plan on going through with this till December 31st. You obviously do not have to do that, but I would recommend making some kind of plan, some kind of framework to help you with owning each day and getting some kind of win, because these days are precious. They're not coming back. So yeah, that's the first big thing. If I can focus and get that mastery journal done, that will be a giant win. And whatever you can accomplish in 52 days, that'll be a giant win for you too. And it doesn't even have to be anything crazy. Honestly, like reading 52 days in a row or writing 52 days in a row, in some ways is just as amazing as writing a book or getting a six pack. It's not so much about the result. It's about becoming the person along the way, as James Clear talks about. The next thing is maximizing neural networks. This one's a little bit more out there, but I've realized for me, like there's a lot of highways and things that have been wired and carved into my brain where they lead to places I don't really want to go to. So it's like, okay, if I want to feel better about this thing, or if I feel fear, it's like, well, there's praying, but there's also like video games, and there's watching YouTube videos about other people who are successful. And there's these neural pathways that some of them I don't really like. And so I'm going to have this Evernote doc where anybody can see what I've been working on with that if you'd like to see that. And I'll make one that you guys can fill in too if you'd really would like that. I'm not sure if you would, but I'll make it anyway to help you guys out, because I really do want to help you guys out. I mean, I'm not quite sure what you guys are going through. You know, we all go through things, and I certainly have made some mistakes, but I definitely have seen a lot of blessings, and I've learned and grown a lot and learned to more see the miracle of each day and to dive deeper into my potential. That, you know, it's helped me feel a lot better about things, and helped me have more confidence in talking with others and wanting to help and understand them better, because I know, you know, digging deeper, it's going to lead to better things. I mean, obviously there needs to be like a real focus and stuff in that. You can't just dive deep for the sake of it. But yeah, for me, I'm going to look at some of these different pathways I've built into my brain and just be very conscious of making better ones, plain and simple. I mean, it just goes along with the discipline thing. Like when I feel fear, I don't want to jump onto YouTube and watch a video that I've already probably watched 100 times, or some motivational get you hyped up kind of thing. I want to get on my knees and pray, want to go for a run. I want to do something that's actually going to stretch me and actually get me closer to that thing. You know, a change in mind and a change in emotion is powerful, but if it's not complemented with action, it's sort of pointless. So that's something else I'm going to be working on. I'll have this doc on the show notes so you can check out. As always, the Discord link will be there too if you'd like to jump in that. And this will just help me to have a lot more joy, because I really want more of my life and more things to gear towards joy. And I feel like I've been there before, but over the last little bit, it's like this leads to fear, and fear leads to, oh, Dallin can't do this. And that doesn't help anything, you know, it's a dead end. So there's going to be some roads I'll be taking out. There'll be new ones I'm putting in, new signs, new stuff like that. And I'm really excited. I think that'll be really good. The final piece of this puzzle and what I want to do is just building up overall momentum in my life. And something I'm going to do with the podcast is to build up the interview network momentum of getting all of these interviews that I've wanted to get out, actually getting them out, even if they're not all uploaded publicly, to have them all scheduled so then they can all be released, and then I can expand my interview network, reach out to more people, and not feel like I'm letting down the current one. You know, once I've built it up, once I've gotten it figured out, I don't need to feel bad about it anymore. You just move on. And again, with the other things, I'm going to set 52 days, stick with it, write about my progress. And yeah, that's basically how I'm going to build up momentum with that. Momentum is crazy, and it's kind of tough for me having a little bit of ADHD, because with ADHD, you know, you sometimes struggle with having enough dopamine, and dopamine is a lot of what pushes us towards things. So sometimes I won't really feel anything, and that's not fun. But I've been trying to hack my dopamine, honestly, and building in all these things that make me want to help out myself more, like having certain books on my desk. So when I open up that desk, I always read a page from that book. You know, little stuff like that, I think is really just helping me with getting a better feel and a better momentum. And that is something that I want for you as well, especially before 2022 ends, because where 2022 ends, 2023 begins. So wherever you want to be in 2023, you have immense control over that. And, you know, I would just recommend another quick tip is just plan out when you're going to consume things, so it doesn't become so habitual when you don't want it to be. Like if you want to become a better writer like I do, make more time to write, and don't go back on it where you do something else, you know, because then you're serving a different identity and blah, 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 blah. We don't need to go on any longer, but that's more about momentum. That's basically my plan to crush the rest of 2022. Again, it was building up my discipline by working on the JLD's Mastery Journal to build up my focus by maximizing my neural networks, really rewiring my brain with certain behaviors over and over again that will help me to go towards what I want and what will help me. And 3, to build up my interview network momentum, because I do see this show as being pretty interview based, and it's going to need to be that way. Otherwise, it's going to become an echo chamber if I'm not careful. I mean, the last 50 episodes probably have just been me talking and venting about whatever, which is great, but it doesn't help as many people as they think I could help. So hopefully this is a little more helpful for you. I'll have links to all this stuff in the show notes as always. And I just appreciate you listening and checking out the podcast. I hope to work with you on building a focus or discipline, focus, and momentum over these last 52 days in 2022. Check out the Discord link if you'd like to see everything and hear about my day-to-day. And I'll also have my Evernote links in there too, so you can check that out. So that's all I got. Thank you so much for listening. And don't forget to heal today, and it'll be a better tomorrow.